Bill Wilson, Wilson Combat. Here again with my old buddy Ken Hackathorn. And this evening we're going to talk about how we've both basically been 45 guys. I mean, virtually all of our life, and how we both somewhat kind of gravitated to 9mm. Ken, I mean, you're almost Mr. 45, Mr. 1911 45 in the gun culture. But lately, I don't see you shoot a 45 very much, and when I do, it's a magazine or two of your old light geezer loads.
Yeah.
Tell me why you've kind of switching horses here.
Well, it's kind of interesting because as long as you and I have been in this business, there's always been this controversy, 45 versus 9mm. Sold a lot of gun magazines over the years.
Oh, yeah.
And I've always been a 45 guy. Grew up with a gun, love it dearly. I have shot, like you, a lot of 45 ammo. And when I was a youngster, for example, I loved shooting 44 Magnums. You know, the Elmer Keith load, you know, 250 grain semi-wide cutter, 22 grains of 2400 boy. That was great. And I've shot a lot of 45, especially during that era when I was doing a lot of governmental-based training. Often I had access to free ammo. I call it OPA, other people's ammo. And I can remember saying, hey, let's go shoot up a box ammo, which was a 1,000-round case. And I would pound that stuff, and I enjoyed it. But the problem that happens to me, probably starting about a decade ago, I've really got problems with my hands. I'm paying a price for that. And whether it's arthritis, I'm afflicted with something that's called trigger finger. And it really is an issue. And I've got some arthritis. If you look at I've got two on the end of my trigger finger right there. You see those two big arthritic knots? Sometimes those things really hurt. And that's because that recoil impulse transferred to the finger. So while I like the 45, love the guns, as you've been to my house, you'll notice I've got all that 45 230 grain ball I saved like it was gold sovereigns. And now I can't stand to shoot it. It hurts too much. If I shoot up 150 rounds of 45 hardball today, tomorrow I literally will not be able to hold on to my spoon to eat my cereal. I mean, it's that bad. So I came up with a reload, like we both reload. I've got like a 185 grain version of the Hensley Gibbs number 68, and I load on 4.3 grains of clays. And that gives me about a 800 foot per second velocity load of a 5-inch government model. Recoil impulse is real low. So I can shoot that without being, messing my hands up. But what I discovered is, look, if I switch over and shoot a 9mm, I can go out and shoot 300 rounds a day, and I don't really have any issues because the recoil impulse is that dramatically lower. Now, here's the problem. I still have this psychological thing that the 45 ballistically is better than a 9mm. But we do know, Jeff Cooper's the one that taught us, they all fall to hardball. One hit and they go down. A lot of people, we were taught if you hit the guy in the little finger, his head exploded if it was a 45 auto. We kind of learned over the years that's not really very true. And we've learned that realistically, the difference between, say, 45 auto, 40 Smith & Wesson, and 9mm isn't as great as we were one time led to believe. We have a lot of empirical evidence now from real shootings to kind of prove that. The other side of the coin is 9mm ammunition has been improved ballistically, particularly self-defense ammo like hollow points, not necessarily ball, but the hollow point ammo has been improved dramatically over the last decade or so, to the point where it performs as far as expansion and energy transfer, almost as well as 45. In my heart of hearts, I still believe that if you take a good 45 hollow point, a good 9mm hollow point, the 45 is probably a little better. I believe that. The problem is, I'm not sure whether it's maybe only 2 or 3%. I mean, I don't know what it is. I do know now, too, it's not the bullet you shoot that matters. It's where you put the bullet.
Yeah.
And what I'm telling you, I'm confident of, most people can shoot a 9mm much more accurately than they probably can a 45.
Yeah.
So between the one, it's less expensive. My God, I can shoot a 9mm for almost half the price if I'm buying factory ammo, 45. I don't have to worry about beating my hands up. It's actually enjoyable. I know that there are cartridges out there that will almost nearly equal the ballistic advantage, say, that a 45 has, whatever that might be. And I've got acquaintances. I've got one acquaintance who's used the 9mm for real quite a few times, pistol. Shot a lot of people, always with ball ammo, because that's all he had. And you know what? I asked him about it. I said, you ever feel like that 9mm? I never had any problems. Everybody I ever shot went down and didn't get up. But he knows how to shoot.
Yeah.
So I've now reached a point where I still carry a 45 quite a bit. I get up in the morning, I put that old CQB, you guys rebuilt twice. I mean, it's pretty tired looking. But I get it up, I'm loaded with, it's Winchester 230 grain SXT. And everybody says, why do you pick that? Because when it was the sheriff's office, that was the issue round. So OPA, other people's ammo, I still got some. But more and more, first off, when I shoot almost all 9mm. And when more and more, I find myself getting up in the morning and go, that big old 5-inch 1911 is fairly heavy. Maybe I'll just grab that Hackathorn Special 9mm and Commander and stick on. And to be honest with you, when you look at a gun today like the X9, if you're one of those people that frets about magazine capacity,
That's a good way to go.
it pretty well solves the problem. So I'll have to say that I am now, I've converted. I am a 9mm guy now. If somebody says, the only thing you can carry is a 9mm pistol, I'm not, I'm going to go, okay, I got no heartburn with it, regardless of what the ammo is, because I also know what fixes the problem is bullet placement. It's not magic bullets.
Yeah.
How about you? What made you evolve towards a 9mm?
Mostly for the same reasons, Ken. Probably the number one thing for me is, like we're talking, shot placement. As you know, I'm a very serious hunter. I mean, before being, competition pistol shooter and gunsmith and all that stuff, I was a serious hunter long before that. I mean, since I was a little kid. And all those years, one thing about all that hunting has taught me, especially the last 10, 15 years since I've been doing lots and lots of hog hunting down here on the ranch, is, shot placement is king, just like you mentioned. And I shoot a 9mm so much more accurately and faster than I do a 45, that I can put, I can put the rounds where I want them, and I can put more rounds on target faster. So it's the control and the accuracy. I like the extra ammunition capacity. That's obviously a very big plus. I hand load most of the time and shoot hand loads. You have some amount of savings on ammo over 45, but when I do shoot factory, like you say, it's almost 2 to 1. You get to shoot almost 2 shots for 1. So a lot of factors there. And in a 1911 platform, I am personally convinced, based on the number of rounds that I've shot and the various guns that I've shot, you can build a more reliable 9mm 1911 than you can build a 45.
You know what? At one time I would have disagreed with that, and you would have probably too. But based on the changes on the marketplace, people like you, and you'll notice all the mainstream manufacturers are all 9mm 1911s are kind of where they're all going. And I tell people, you and I grew up in an era where the 9mm pistols around were mostly military pistols, Lugers, P-38s, Browning high powers, whatever. Yeah. And the quality of the 9mm ammo, the old ball ammo, had a very sharp O-guide. There was very little bearing surface. So between the oversized military chambers, the quality ammo, quite honestly, 9mm didn't have a very good reputation for accuracy. We all knew the 1911 45 would, even when the old GI guns loosed, would outshoot them. The changes in ammunition, we've now got more bearing surface. Yep. And more uniform loads and quality, certainly the quality of the barrels and the way they, so literally I'm convinced today I can get a 45. I know my Wilson Combat Hackathorn Special 9mm, quite honestly, with any quality ammo will shoot as good as my Wilson Combat old CQB, and it's an accurate gun. So that argument of which is more accurate kind of has went away.
Yeah. All right, well, appreciate visiting with me on this, Ken.
Cool.